Ballistics expert Lieutenant Colonel Chris Mangena is expected back on the stand when the Senzo Meyiwa Murder Trial resumes in the High Court in Pretoria this morning. 5 men are in trial for the murder of Meyiwa in 2014. SABC News reporter Sipho Kekana is also following the story, and he now joins us live from Pretoria. Sipho, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. So we heard yesterday from the testimony that was given that the ammunition that was used, or the bullet that was found on the scene, actually came from the gun that was found on one of the accused.
Definitely. Good morning, Aldrin. So we are expecting another interesting day today in the Senzo Meyiwa Murder Trial. Firstly, as ballistics expert Christian Mangena continues his evidence in chief and wraps it up before cross-examination that starts. But as you say yesterday, Aldrin, startling revelations about the link between the gun that was confiscated from accused number 3, Mthobisi Mncube's room in 2015, and the bullet projectile that was found on the crime scene the following morning of Senzo Meyiwa's murder. He has told the court that his investigations found that that bullet that was found on the scene was fired from a gun that was found in accused number 3's room. You remember that a lot was said previously about this particular gun. The defense tried to paint a picture of a gun being exchanged within the exhibit store at some stage. We've heard him say that he found this gun in an open sealed bag when he booked it out in 2020 for ballistics because it had been scheduled to be destroyed. He has told the court that that bullet projectile that was found on the scene was not planted there, could not have been planted there. It had come from this particular gun that was found in the room that was occupied by accused number 3 when he was arrested for a different matter in 2015. Another startling revelation that we had, you recall, Aldrin, that previously we heard about the number of shots that were fired. Some people were saying 3. We had Zandile Khumalo said she had 3 shots, with the third shot not as loud as the first 2 shots. And we had Ntokosi Sitwala telling the court that after the first shot was fired, he ran out of the house, and as he did that, he thinks he might have had the second shot. But yesterday, Mangena put all of those questions to bed now when he said only 2 shots could have been fired from inside the house. He says he was able to pick up a mark on the floor, which meant that the first shot was fired directly to the floor at a 90-degree angle. And he says the second shot was the fatal shot that killed Meyiwa. He says, you'll recall that, Aldrin, he is a very high-profile crime scene reconstructor who played part in the reconstruction of the Oscar Pistorius crime scene. And he has led the court in on how he thinks that scuffle could have taken place. According to him, Senzo Meyiwa was facing inside the house with the kitchen door behind him when that fatal shot was fired. He says that shot was fired in a downward trajectory and went through Meyiwa's body, hitting the door behind him before it ricocheted to the wall and fell onto the kitchen counter. And this would then support previous witness Colonel Chris testimony that she followed the damage on the door, which then led her to the discovery of this bullet projectile behind the glass just on top of the kitchen countertop. And you recall that previously there has been those accusations of scene tampering and evidence being planted there. Mhlahlo and Msia previously told the court that they had nothing to do with that bullet projectile. It was not planted there. So we are expecting today that Mangena is going to continue giving evidence on some of those aspects before cross-examination continues. But I can tell you now that, Aldrin, the defense is not going to be taking that evidence lying down. We are expecting a highly charged cross-examination this morning. You would recall that this gun that Mangena brought to court yesterday was a highly contested matter in this court. You recall that it was placed in an exhibit store in 2015 when it was immediately after it was confiscated from accused number 3's room, and according to the evidence that we've had, it did not have a serial number on it. So according to Mangena, he had to carry out an etching process on this particular firearm, and he says through it he was able to establish the original serial number of that gun. However, yesterday when he gave testimony in court, that particular gun did not have a serial number on it. We are expecting the defense to make a big deal out of that. They are going to be arguing, one of the things is that they say in a serial number, once it has been re-established, reprinted or something like that on a firearm, cannot be removed again. And like I'm telling you now, the gun that was brought in court yesterday did not have that particular serial number. And another point that we are expecting is going to be another bone of contention, Aldrin, is that bullet projectile. You'd recall that as he testified yesterday, he says he was very certain that that bullet projectile came from the very same gun that was found in accused number 3's room. And so we are expecting that the defense will concede that perhaps you are right, that bullet projectile comes from that gun that you brought here. But what you have not done is to test whether that bullet projectile is the same bullet projectile that perforated Meyiwa's body. You'd recall that yesterday he told the court that there was no blood on that particular bullet projectile. Previously, Musia also told the court that he had not taken DNA swabs from that particular bullet projectile to establish as to whether it was the very same projectile that had perforated Meyiwa's body. We are expecting that those are some of the issues that the defense are going to be raising later this morning in order to try and discredit the evidence of Mangena.